Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle. As you can tell from the jingle bells, it's Christmas time. I'm going to turn them off. They're really annoying. But yeah, as another Christmas episode, I'm going to talk about working at Christmas this year.
Hello and welcome to
Infinite Prattle.
unscripted, unedited prattle on everything, hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the show.
Thank you all very much. A big welcome to you all, and thank you. This is going to be, I think, the last episode of the year. Is it going to be the last episode? Is there another one due next week before we finish the year? I can't. Yes, there will be. Yes, it's like the 22nd. Is it today? I don't even know. Yes, there will be one more before the end of the year. But thank you for listening anyway. And I was going to say thank you for listening all year, but I'll say that anyway as well, and I'll say it next week. So thank you very much for being a listener. And if it's your first time, welcome. This episode is going to be about Christmas, but it's more going to get aimed at working at Christmas. Because some people don't get Christmas off. Some people, some industries don't shut down over Christmas. Things have to function still. Things can't 100% shut down because of commerce and the world, and we need electric and power and amenities and such things. So yes, this is kind of like a bit of a talk through that really, because I've been in a job for years where I've had to work over Christmas, and it's not ideal. I've said before, I work in the rail industry. For anyone haven't listened before and not heard me say that, I work for the railway in the UK, and it's a great job. But the railway for passengers closes down, but it doesn't for maintenance and engineering works and such things. So, my job when I first joined the railway, I kind of got Christmas off-ish a little bit. I got Boxing Day off. I got Christmas Day off back in Boxing Day, but kind of forced Christmas Day. So it's not too bad, but I was always working probably Christmas Eve and Boxing Day, so it's not like full Christmas off. And New Year's Eve and stuff is just another day, and New Year's Day is just another day. So when I first joined the railway 23 years ago, I had a couple of years where I didn't work Christmas Day, but I worked the other days, sometimes into the early hours of Christmas Day. And then when I joined the company I work for now, which is Network Rail, I worked. I think I pretty much worked every single Christmas and pretty much every single Christmas Day apart from one. In a previous job, and then when I became a manager, I didn't necessarily have to go in, but I was on call. And a couple of years ago, I had a terrible on call where I think I was called out like 8 times over a few days to go out and physically do stuff, and it wasn't the best. Let's say that it wasn't the best. But a lot of people don't know this, like office workers and stuff. They close down for a week and they have a full week off at Christmas, or like 4 or 5 days off, depending on when it falls as well. And it can be a weird experience for people like talking about that. Like for me, talking to someone that's never worked Christmas is bizarre, and I suppose for people that have the other side of the coin where they don't understand the flip side of that, is weird for them that they have never, experienced being at work. Even people doing night shifts. So I did night shifts regularly for 20 years, which is crazy. And I'm working this Christmas for the first time in 2 years, because a big project of mine commissions in my area. It's a project I've been working on for a while, and I'm going to be pretty much working the entire Christmas period for 9 days straight, pretty much one day off in halfway through. I've got a week today off, and then all the other days I'll be on call or on nights, so that'll be lovely. But yeah, on nights, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, the 2nd of January, and a day in between as well, for all the important stages of the project. And I don't mind it. I feel more sorry for my wife, because obviously she will be alone then, and she's spending some time in hospital at the moment, so we haven't even had that preparation in the run up to Christmas. So puts a bit of pressure on me to try and get everything sorted. So I've been shopping and trying to get the house sorted. We had some wardrobes built a couple of weeks ago, so I'm trying to get them painted. It's taking so long. How long does it take to bloody paint wardrobes? I mean, they're pretty big. Don't get me wrong. Like the room we've put them in, it's all across one wall. The room's rectangle, so it's one of the shorter walls, but it's probably still a good like 4 meters wide. I would say at least like just under 4 meters wide probably, and it's floor to ceiling. We live in an older house, so we have like 9'7" ceilings, maybe a bit more. So they're floor to ceiling, and three large cupboards that are very tall, and then we have like a strip of cupboards across the very top as well, which we won't be able to access unless we get step ladders. But it's for stuff to hide, like winter clothes or summer clothes when we're transitioning. I'm hoping that's what we're going to be able to use it for. And bloody watch is going off. That's Sarah texting me. When she's in hospital, we ping each other memes and everything all the time, and I'm gonna have to mute that because she will just ping me and ping me and ping me. It's quite funny though. We have a good relationship in that way. What was I saying? Oh yeah, these wardrobes are bloody ridiculously large, and I was hoping that I'd probably be able to prime them in a couple of days, and then give them a top coat, and I made out of MDF. Really, really nice. Guy's done a good job on them. Yeah, it's taking me hours and hours and hours, and I've got one coat on the majority of it. I've still not painted some of it and give it a coat yet, and I've started to do the second coat on some bits, but I've noticed I've not even done the primer yet, and it's been days. It's just taking so long. It's so faffy. Yeah, it's ridiculous, really. So I'm hoping that I can get there. I can get a bit more done today, and then hopefully next week I can do bits and bobs on it, and then hopefully get it sorted. But yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, to be fair. But yeah, with that, I've been doing that. I'm trying to get ready for the house ready. I'm only just putting up the Christmas decorations today. It's the 22nd of December. I'm only just putting the Christmas decorations up. That's not like us at all. Sometimes we put them a bit later, but they're normally up at least a week or two. More normally the start of December though. But with Sarah being in hospital, it's not been a priority for me. She can't see it, and I don't like doing it, if I'm honest with you. I like them when they're up, but I hate getting them down from the attic and sorting them all out and putting them up. It's just the lights are the worst thing, I think. I don't mind putting baubles on it. It's just getting the tree up and then stringing all the bloody lights up. If someone could invent like string lights that are just easy to handle and just clip on or whatever, I don't know. I mean, yeah, can I get pre-lit trees, kind of stuff, but I don't know. And it's a big tree as well. I don't like how big the tree is. I wish we had a smaller tree, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, yeah. So I'm working, so I feel bad for her because, I'll be at work, and when I'm not at work, I'll be on call and still kind of working as well. I've still got stuff to do in the background. I've still got a few documents and stuff to sort out, and I've got to drive over to the signal boxes are being moved into another location in Manchester, so I'll be driving between Crewe and Manchester over the Christmas period as well. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot to deal with, really. But working in general over Christmas has never really bothered me. I saw it as kind of like something that it gives you a little bit of extra pay. And I don't have kids, and I still don't have kids, annoyingly. Another episode on IVF probably coming soon as a little update for you all. But it never really bothered me to work over Christmas because, you got a little bit more money for it. And, as an adult, it's just another day. I think if you've got kids or, close family and stuff, but my brother was living in Shrewsbury, and my mum lives in Ireland, and my dad lives like still in Crewe, but he's not really a fan of Christmas neither. So, I just kind of chose to work, to be honest. And it's kind of a different job being a signaller anyway. When I was a signaller, controlling the trains and stuff, there's never normally a lot of trains anyway on the day. It's engineering trains, but you don't really have any part in that on the big side. You're just there as a gatekeeper kind of thing. If anyone needs to talk to you or anyone needs to extend or reduce the possession limits and stuff like that. So you kind of just sat there waiting for something to happen, and maybe operating some equipment occasionally and checking that the indications are correct. So it's kind of, in general, easy. Yeah, so I used to volunteer for Christmas. But yeah, this year I'm back in, and I've not done nights for a while, like proper night shifts. So we'll see how that goes. I think Sarah thinks they're going to hit me hard, but I feel like I get into it. I think I'll be fine. The first one's always the worst. I think the probably the thing that will be bad is when I used to do a week of nights. The first one's always the worst, and then you have to ease into it, and your body gets used to it. It goes, all right, I'm on nights now, my right, fair enough. The problem with this will be is I'll be on nights for Christmas Eve, and then nights 4 days later, then nights 3 days later, and then nights 2 days after that. So it's not like they're all like one after the other, which I think is the worst part of it. Um, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll cope with it, and it'll be a nice paycheck in January. When I get that, I'm not doing it for the money. It's part of my job. The money, the little bit of incentive money wise is just a bit of a bonus. For the inconvenience of having to work over Christmas, because the railway has to shut down over Christmas. And it's about the only time that we can do big engineering works and such things. So, but yeah, I think people don't work over Christmas or don't have a job where they work unsociable hours. It can be quite hard for them to understand how it feels to do them unsociable hours. Because even though you might not be asked about it, I was never bothered about doing shifts. It's almost like you make your bed, you lie in it kind of thing. But it does get to you sometimes. Like I've been when I was a relief. One of the jobs I had was called a mobile operations manager, and that job is to like go around and respond to incidents, etc. on the railway network. Great job, great job. And that job, I was a relief person, so I didn't have a set. I had a set shift a set day to work, but never knew which shift it was going to be, whether it was going to be mornings, noons, or nights. And then when we shifted to 12-hour shifts, whether it was going to be a day shift or a night shift. So I knew. So for example, on a Monday, I knew that I was working a Monday. But if someone said to me, "Do you want to come out Monday night?" I'd be like, "I don't know, because I might be working." Or if someone said, "Oh, do you want to meet me Tuesday morning?" I'd be like, "I don't know, because I might have been on nights." And they go, "Well, don't you know what you're going to be working?" And I'm like, "No, I just know that Monday I'll have a shift, and it could be days or nights." And the night shift obviously affects the next day, because you come in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you need to go to bed for a bit, so you're not getting up before lunch at least. So yeah, I think people don't see that, and you do get used to it. You do get used to it, but you do have bad weeks sometimes. I mean, you have weeks sometimes that you just can't sleep, and it could be because your neighbors are doing stuff, DIY, building work, etc. Or it can be just because your brain's unsettled. You just can't get into it that week, or you've eaten the wrong foods, or you may have gone beyond that sleep boundary, and it's really hard for your brain to switch off. Because you're constantly trying to keep yourself awake, but then when you go to bed, you want to sleep. It's a really hard balance. But shift work is just in general an inconvenience in some sense. But the biggest thing I liked about it is, especially when we went to 12-hour shifts, we used to do 3 days on, 3 days off. And then every so often you do 4 days on, 3 days off, because the Sundays were accounted for. So you did 2 Sundays every month. So when you had a Sunday at the start or the end of a shift pattern, that give you the 4 days. But then you get 7 days off every month as well, because at some point the shift would move around that you'd get a 3 days off into a 4 days off, and that was ace. Like a week off every month technically. And 12-hour shifts are hard. They are really, really hard, especially on the job that I was doing at the time, at responding to incidents, because you could be stood on the track in the wind and rain, dealing with very high level stuff, having to keep your attention for 12 hours. Tough stuff. But what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying now. Lost my train of thought. No pun intended. But yeah, I just think that. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So 3 days on, 4 days off. So I loved having days off during the week. Like I've gone to like office work now, which I like for the benefit of, like, it's 9 to 5, you know where you're at. I don't manage staff anymore, which I'm kind of sad about and kind of glad about, because it's like one of the best and worst things about being a manager. I loved it, but then sometimes it does give you stress because you either want to help the person or, policies, etc. I'm not going to get into it, but sometimes it's quite stressful managing people, especially if you know them. So yeah, I moved to a job where it was kind of more responsibility from the sense of, like, I help design the railway now when I sign off on things that are gonna make changes to the railway or inform their design, which is kind of scary. But I love it, but that 9 to 5 kind of weekday thing means that, like, it's very hard to do stuff during the week unless you take a day off, and everyone's off on a weekend. So in my previous job, or the previous job, so to say, because I would have, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, me and Sarah could go, I don't know, like a stately, go and visit somewhere like a stately home, like National Trust Place, or we could go shopping in a week and it'd be quiet, or we could just go for a coffee on a Wednesday morning or something, and it'd be nice and quiet. I do miss that. I do miss that luxury of just popping out during the week. I would kind of exchange one of my days now, if I could. I would kind of exchange, like, a Saturday for a weekday or something, just because I would enjoy the flexibility of being able to have a day in the week where I didn't have to see people as much. There's nothing worse, I think, than, that sounds terrible of me, but I'm a really social person. But when it comes to like busy places, I don't like it that much. Like, if I'm going to go for a coffee, I'd much prefer to be quiet. I don't mind a little bit hustle and bustle, but when it's really, really busy and there's queues out the door and stuff, it kind of really puts me off. And the same with shopping. Like, I don't mind shopping if it's quiet and I can mooch around, but people are rude. And I've said this before, like, even today, I was shopping today and this guy was just leaning over me and I could not help but say something. And I do come across very harsh sometimes, and I might come across like a dickhead, but I can't help but say something. Like, why would you lean over me and don't touch me? Like, just say excuse me if you need something from the shelf. Like, it's really, really bizarre. And I think it gets me. I'm not going to go into a rant, honestly, but I think it gets me that people are shocked when you say something to them. So days off during the week would be lovely, but this Christmas is going to be weird. It's going to be very stop start. Hopefully Sarah's coming home tomorrow, so that's nice. So, but the Christmas dinner kind of situation is, I'm trying to simplify it. After I've recorded this podcast, I'm gonna go make some stuffing. We're cooking the turkey a day early, so basically Christmas Day, when I wake up off my night shift, I can have a little bit of breakfast, and then literally everything. The only thing that needs to be done is with Sarah is basically. Why is my freaking watch dinging again? I put on Do Not Disturb. Oh my god, that was Michael. Oh yeah, shout out to Michael, because Michael's broke his ankle quite badly. So he's a constant listener of this show, and he's my brother-in-law. And is that right, brother-in-law? Yes, brother-in-law. I always get brother-in-law and stepbrothers mixed up. I don't know why. He's my brother-in-law, and he's an avid listener and feedback. That's not even right, is it? He gives me feedback on the show. So get well soon, Mike. I know it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while, but keep getting Gail to bring you cups of tea. Yeah, bloody Do Not Disturb. My watch has dinged so much on this show. I tell you, I should just take it off. I'll put my phone in Do Not Disturb. I've turned it on silent. That doesn't do it though, does it? When you've got an Apple Watch on. I'm gonna get rid of some. I don't think I want to renew this Apple Watch. It doesn't do me any favors. It's just a distraction. It really is. It really is. I'd love to go back. I'm not going to try and dig out of a drawer, actually, one of my old watches that I had when I was at school. And I got it for, like, doing well in some mock exams, I think it was. And it's like I think it may be a Casio. It may be a... Oh, it may be a Timex. Which were made by Casio, I want to say. But it vibrated. It was like the first vibrating watch. I loved it. And a lot of the paintwork and stuff rubbed off. It was like chrome when I first got it, but a lot of it rubbed off, so you can see like the grey plastic underneath. But it was a cracking watch, and I still got it somewhere. I remember finding it and it still was going. The battery was still operational in it. So I need to dig that out because I might just start wearing a watch like that. Go old school again. Anyway, don't know how we got into watches. Dings, wasn't it? Yeah, dings. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some stuff in, and then while the American football's on, I'm going to finish decorating the Christmas tree, and there'll probably be a lot of swearing, and hopefully it's acceptable for when Sarah gets home tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I'm not very careful. I try my best, but it's the lights. They do my head in. I went quite kind of everywhere on that one, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. Well, it's called Infinite Prattle, so, I don't edit anything, I don't script anything, so you get what you get, alright? You get what you get. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your Christmas. I hope you get everything you want, and you're able to see family and friends, and it's just a lovely time for you, and I hope you're not working. Think of me while I'm doing my night shifts. I know you won't. But let me know in the comments and let me know if you work night shifts and if you do Christmas shifts and stuff, and let me know what your friends think. Is it something that they can't get their head round, or is it just something you're used to now? And do you like the extra money if you get paid extra? And if you don't get paid extra, that's wrong. You should get a little bit of compensation for working Christmas. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. Check out my Instagram, which is @infiniteprattle. Check out my website. I've not updated it for ages, so I apologise, but I will get to it. Probably in the break, I'm going to revamp it. I might even change hosts, etc. But that's not for you to worry about. I'm going to manage that in the background. Thank you very much for listening. Take care of yourselves. Remember to keep on prattling.
You've been listening to
Infinite Prattle!
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, go back and listen to some others. And please continue to listening. Your support is muchly appreciated. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.